Welcome to GWTV. We're having a little session here with a bunch of network marketers and direct sellers, very experienced from all over North America. And today is about, good friend of mine, Stu Mills, is right here. Today's about having a conversation, like a locker room talk. That's what this is. The stuff that the industry don't want you to know. And every time I built my empire, the company got shut down, they changed their compensation plans, or some, the company got sold. In 2004, I came to a crossroad, either to get out of the industry after 14 years of being a soldier on the field, or just basically do it my way. But unfortunately, no CEO would accept my ideas because it's way too costly to the corporation. Build a bunch of millionaires. Now, I know you've been in the MLM industry for 25 years. You made millions of dollars and create multiple dozens of millionaires in your team. All of this sounds good, Stu. And people say it's a great story, but it really isn't. The reason is because I built teams over 150,000 people, and a lot of them did not make money. That was my problem with the industry. I know that you had a pretty good life, you had a good career. You probably felt the same way, where there were some good people in your team who worked hard, but they just couldn't get it over because either it took a hell of a lot of people in order to be able to make full-time income, or maybe the ranking system was difficult to qualify for.
I started off with police work and I went into franchising. And one day I understood buy from your own store and make money. It made sense to me. So I was involved with a company at that time. But what was interesting, I came in that morning and I had the old heat activated fax paper. There was a big roll of paper at the bottom of the fax machine, and I thought, wow, look at all these orders that just came in. And when I looked at it, I realized that 42 new people had actually come into my business in the direct sales industry. It wasn't orders for the business. And I thought, you're wasting your time here. You're wasting your time here. You need to get back in the trenches and run hard. And so I basically did what nobody else could do. I got on an airplane, I flew to Alberta. I teamed up with some great leaders. But at the end of the day, I was everywhere. I was flying here, there, and everywhere. And when I realized that, yeah, I could be successful, but there was no way that Bill was going to be successful if he had a 40-hour work week, because he just wasn't going to have enough time to put in. So I became Bill's crutch, and I'd run all over the world helping Bill build his business. But the minute you go away, the customer base falls off, your attrition hits, and I just became disenchanted. Did we help a lot of people win? Yes, but we painted a picture that wasn't true, because 9 out of 10 people, they weren't making those dollars.
The average person doesn't have a shot.
Exactly.
I know what you're talking about, because when I got involved in the industry, when I started my profession, I bought a new car in one summer. I put 57,000 kilometers on it. One summer. The average person can't do that. And yet we stand in front of the room and say, hey, I did that, you could do it too. Well, no. Wasn't married, no kids, no commitment, get on the road and get it done. So again, this is what I'm talking about. The industry, the whole industry, 2,000 companies according to the DSA, that are registered, about 5,000 companies non-registered, they're all copying each other. What's the result? 96% failure ratio in something which I consider to be the last bastion of the free enterprise, the last chance for the average person to hit a financial home run, yet there's a slaughterhouse out there. And people are not, after 70 years, we haven't figured out what's wrong, and every company that comes up that launches has a similar stats. So this wasn't about me or you or some of the other people here who've had success. For me in 2005 is about the average person to be a financial home run. Now in 2004, I came across, I knew what was wrong with the industry. And I narrowed down to 2 things. Number 1, low profit items. I come from Nutrition Camp, 10 years. And of course the mantra of health and wellness is consumable, consumable, consumable. That means if you don't eat it or wash with it, that doesn't count. Let me tell you what's important. What's important is with a product that people would want to invest into on a monthly basis. Now when you take a look at the stats, DSA averages, 6% of health and wellness companies, 6% of the workforce actually stay on their auto ship. So that's not a formula for success. I'm sure you've experienced that in all the years you've been in nutrition.
My analogy is this. You got 2,000 companies in the direct selling industry, and about 91 million people take part in those companies. Okay, and they're all over there in this ocean. And my analogy is it's a red ocean. And it's a red ocean because there's a lot of blood in that water. And there's a lot, There's a lot of sharks in that water. So you got 91 million minnows swimming around, just going about their business, trying to make a few extra dollars for themselves and their family. And you got these sharks there that are supposed to be so-called leaders, okay? But a lot of the time, it's just luck. Some of the time, it's just by default.
So I basically narrowed it down to 2 different areas. One of them is low profit items. We need an army of users in order for you to be able to make a full-time income. And we know the averages too. Average person can't go build a very large team like you and I did. And the second part of that is very strict compensation plans. I said there's 3 types of comp plans. There's legal ones, legitimate ones, there's illegal ones, but there's a third kind which is the majority. There are some that they're legal, but they're so unfair they might as well be illegal. Smoke and mirror. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Ranks, qualification, re-qualification. I mean, they come and say we give you 50% on the comp plan, yet you have to attain 30 levels to maximize the plan. And then, once you get there, you have to re-qualify it every month to keep it there. I know in our business, so when I launched the Global Wealth Trade, I wanted to do one thing. I want to make sure that when you create volume, because that's how it's supposed to be, you create volume, you get paid. It's not supposed to be the old ways. When I got started in 1990, we said we always beat up on retail. Remember what it used to be? We are better than retail because we go from manufacturer to consumer direct. And we give the advertising budget to you for advertising. Remember the good old days when we used to keep on talking about this? Along the way, some smart guys came along, compliant guys like me, and said, you know what? Create the volume, but then achieve these ranks in order to get paid on that volume. What initially was create the volume and we'll pay you. And along the way, the last 20 years too, I've seen compliance, if you've seen it, it's become so complex. And it's going to completely the wrong direction. The commission volume that pays you permanently is diminished to nothing. And all companies are coming with all these big bonuses because they know with bonuses, they're going to keep you working for the rest of your life. Because you have to qualify for it and re-qualify for it every single month. What happened to leverage, the residual income aspect? What happened to the 550? Work off for 5, take the next 50 off.
Exactly. And we've seen it firsthand. I mean, there was people that would make, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in a month. And we've seen them implement changes to the marketing plan, which basically would dictate that they had to do X, Y, and Z in order to get that check. So it just added another step in there. And like you said, they would say, this is for the good. This is for the good. It keeps people working. The reality is that people became disenchanted. And we see people that their checks would go to 1% of what they were.
I wanted to just say something because
Absolutely.
I know you guys are talking about that, and I'm just sitting here listening, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I don't want to be disrespectful. And I know we're filming a little bit, but so many times I've sat down with a CEO of a company, and they've said, "This is for the little guy. We finally have something here that the masses can do," and it's just not true. Mm-hmm. And I came here, because Stu and Brian asked me to, and I came here. I'm Canadian, but I have family in Toronto. And I was very honest. I told them, I said, I wasn't even going to accept the invitation until you told me it was based in Toronto, because I thought, well, I'll take a free trip to Toronto and I will give you Friday and Saturday out of respect, but I'm going to visit my family as well. And I already told my buddies that I'm probably not going to be interested because I know what the CEO is going to say. He's going to say this is designed for the masses and we're doing something different and et cetera, et cetera. But you know what is amazing? What is amazing, truly, is as really thank you for what you put together. And thank you for inviting me, you guys. But what is amazing to me is it's the logic that you've presented here. Right. It's, my initial thought was, this fashion design, well, you can see that I don't have my fashion on today, okay? I'll tell you, anybody that doesn't look under the hood of this project that you've put together is going to be very sorry, because it is absolutely, to me, it is absolutely fabulous. And I really do appreciate you.
And I'm glad you brought us to that, because that was exactly what I was hitting, and I'm glad you brought us to that. So Stu, let me start with you. 4 years ago you saw this. Now, at that time, you know, you go through a transition, but you came to a tour, you actually saw this, but what was it that you didn't see, or maybe the timing wasn't right, that you didn't take action right away?
Well, it's just a need. I mean, 4 years ago, I didn't have a need. I was quite happy where I was, and, you know, but more recently, it was a necessity. I was looking for something.
Timing factor.
It was all timing. It was just timing. And, you know, I wasn't even paying attention 4 years ago. But this guy sends me an email from St. Martin. I'm in construction. We got 14 kitchens being renovated a week. We're a little busy, okay, especially going into Christmas. And he sends me an email. At the bottom of the email, it says, oh, P.S. He says, you like the Eagles? You ever heard of Hotel California? Well, our company's like that. See, you can check in, but you can't check out. And I was going down the next day. I was like, boy, that is arrogant. That like, give me a break. Right?
That is great.
I couldn't believe that this guy would say that.
Don't come and look at this company.
Because you're not going to leave.
You
right?
won't.
So what happens is I want to say no. It's a Sunday night. I'm laying and I'm trying to figure out how can I not go, right? But I can't come up with an idea. So I thought, well, I got to watch the video. So if I watch the 18-minute product, like the company introduction video, then I can say no. But when I watched it, I was like, this makes a lot of sense, you know? So I really can't go there. So it's crazy. I went and laid down, I was watching the hockey game, and I actually fell asleep. I hadn't told my wife I was going down here the next day. So at 7:41 the next morning, I'm at the airport, and my phone starts to buzz, and she goes, where are you? With a big question mark. And I'm like, ooh, I think I'm in trouble now. I was like, well, I'm at the airport. I'm just going to Toronto for the day. Oh, you're just going to Toronto for the day. I just wanted to come down and eliminate the company. Got on a plane at 8 o'clock, got here at 1:45. Ramin picks me up at 2 o'clock at the airport. Then we came here. It was getting late in the afternoon. Kind of looked around and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa, let's get some nice stuff here. But I couldn't tell you from posh, from fairy to fairy mosh. But it looked really nice. But then what I understood was the forensic networker, which is a mantra that he carries. It's part of his business. But he wanted to make the industry better. He wanted to course correct the industry. He wanted so that the people that don't know what's going on in the industry wouldn't have to go into those pitfalls and fall into those holes. And that's what I embraced. That's what I grasped onto before I left.
So the email got you to say, I'm going to get on a plane,
I'll
from
come down and check it
Alberta,
out. I'll come down and check it
from
out.
Alberta, Ontario, 4-hour flight. I'm just going to come in and get it out of my head because it's bugging me.
Yep.
I can't forget about it, but so I need to eliminate.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. Now, you got the email as well, though, right? What was your thought process?
Well,
going through
no,
it?
I didn't get the email from you, but I got it from these guys.
The same email,
I did
basically.
the exact same thing, which is funny because I got a friend of mine who's a multi-million-dollar earner. We're good friends, and he said, "So you're going to go look at this thing?" He said, "Have you looked at it yet?" I said, "No." He said, "You haven't looked." I mean, I didn't look at anything. I mean, I didn't watch a video before I came here because I already knew I wasn't going to be interested. But I did know, out of courtesy, that I would give these guys legitimate my time. I did know that. That was fair. And I even told my cousins and I said, I'm going to go in. They said, oh, come on. I said, I got to do it. I'm going to do it. And for me, just to answer you directly, again, it's just the I'm half English, the bloody logic. Okay. It's just the logic. It is incredible.
So is that the comp plan logic, or is it the training forensic networker?
It's, the comp plan is incredible, and there's no question about that. But like I said to you yesterday, comp plans are great, but if I have people look at what we're doing, if they're not interested and they don't want to participate, the comp plan doesn't mean anything. I mean, it was the whole package, Ramin. It was everything you've put together from the like I said to you yesterday, how much money did you pay these celebrities to endorse this stuff? Nothing. You can't legally do that. It's a very regulated industry. You would have to say that. And I'm like, wow. And I mean, it's just it's one of your guys. I mean, the guys that I've met here, we've all met. How long you been involved? 5 years? 4 years? I mean, I said, you must be getting pitched by people all the time like we all do. Oh, yeah. But once you come in, Hotel California, you can't leave. I mean, I don't know.
Well, this is fantastic feedback from me. I appreciate it, Bill. And who else got the email You got the email.
I got the email, absolutely.
No, I know you went on it right away because I was on the phone with you. You're the first person I got on the phone with. And tell me about the transition as we watch these videos.
Well, no question. I looked at the celebrities, and right away I almost shut it off because I'm like, I don't know any celebrities. I'm never going to be able to market to a celebrity, and I'm like, you know, what's this got to do with me? And then I started digging into the basic plan, the marketing plan, and I started listening to some of the videos, like the 25 reasons why this company, this product is the best product for direct sales. And it just made sense, and really what happened was I started to understand why I had so many failures in the past. That was just like a light came on, like, oh my gosh. And I started to see that this comp plan is going to course correct the industry. And that's the reason why, you know, the activity ratio is so high, you know, 800%, higher than the standard in the industry. And so it just started to flow. Everything started to make sense. And only one conclusion that you can come with is that this thing is a rocket ship. And the timing. I saw that this thing, 8.5, 9 years of preparation. And I said, my gosh, if they're to the billion, if they're ready to go, what perfect timing. I mean, timing to direct sales is like location, location, location.
Sure.
Is to franchises or restaurants. So I said, this looks like something that's, the infrastructure is all in place, and the timing is now, and we're just kind of lucky or blessed to come along at the right time. That's kind of the way it kind of unfolded for me. So.
Terrific.
Could I say one more thing, please?
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm
Open
sorry,
table.
and
Open table.
please forgive me, okay?
Open table.
No, but here's the thing. You just said something this timing thing, and you know, the company's 9 years old. And of course, you're going to say that, well, forget 9 years ago, now is the time. But here's the thing that we know as professionals. I don't think there's a company on the planet that I don't care if it's, I'm not going to mention names, I don't care if it's 20 years old or 40 years old, they are going to tell you, and will always tell you, that now is the time. Well, I wish I would have gotten involved 20 years ago. No, now is the time, right? But here's what I have learned myself, and I believe, and I don't know if you guys feel it or not, but here's what I'm thinking at this moment. Because to me, momentum, which we all know is where the money's made, is the perception of an opportunity that could be missed. That's what it is, which creates an activity known as, in our industry, massive recruiting. It takes you from that fear of picking up the phone to going, I have to call them because someone else could, right? And that creates momentum because everybody gets that. It happened in the real estate industry. We saw it happen. People were like, how much is the house? 400? It's only worth 175, but I have to buy it because I have to. It's the fear that you'll miss out. I have a fear today. I have a fear, do you? I have a fear that some people that I know, someone else is going to get to. Because this company has clearly been in a complete development stage. And clearly it's a project that had to take time. I mean, it takes time to get the exposure that you've gotten through the ingenious things that we've learned today. And I really feel, and I mean this sincerely, I'm sitting here thinking, I've got to get a hold of some people, and I'm going to be. I know it's going to happen too. I'm going to see people walk through these doors, and I'm going to go, oh, what the heck? Because that's what's going to happen. And it's so. I have the perception of I could miss this opportunity if I don't move. That's where I'm at today.
Who else thought he's going to come here and write this off? Everybody.
All hands
Go
up,
ahead.
please.
We get it to you in a minute.
Bill, my fear is that I would go back home and tell my wife that this was not what I thought I was coming here to see. You know, those friends of mine that know me for the last 30 years, they know my track record in business, and they know where my career's been, and they know that I've been at the door of potential greatness 3 or 4 times, and it just goes away. When we sat down, and Stu called me and goes, listen, bud, don't ask a lot of questions. I don't have a lot of answers, but you got to look at this. We sit down and looked at the 25. My wife is such an investigator. She sat down, and if I heard her say, oh my gosh, once, I heard her say it 25 times. Because you were saying, here's 25 things wrong with the industry of multi-level marketing, which I've learned to say with ease the last 4 or 5 days before I kind of choked it back. But she simply said, this is what's wrong, and you said, this is what we've done to fix that. And every time she goes, that was us. Mm-hmm. We were preaching that. We've been teaching that. And she said, by all means, you go see, and please come back and tell me that it's the real deal and that you're the real deal and this comp plan's the real deal and the products are the real deal. And the people that we met here this last few days is, I'm really glad to be able to go back and report to her that, honey, I think we found a home, somewhere that we can go and pour. We think we are at least of average, and maybe a little better of average of being able to build a business. And we know real people, and I can't tell you how many people that I brought to the table under that red ocean illusion. And it's not only the team players that are in the field. I've discovered that it's the owners and management teams that are contributing a lot of the blood in those oceans. And I didn't realize that this week.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you very much.
My perspective is a little different because I come in as the other half. And I didn't do the research, I didn't get the email, but I overheard some phone calls and I knew something was stewing with Stu. And finally I said to Brian, I said, what are you and Stu cooking up? Like what's going on here? And he even put me off. He said, I'll tell you a little later, you know, we got something going on. And we had, I knew he was looking. You know, we had just come out of another hurtful experience, and he is, if nothing else, tenacious. Your video, your 25 reasons, everything about this is a paradigm shift. It really is. And you just cut to the chase in every one of those topics. And my thinking, because as much as, I mean, what woman doesn't enjoy luxury, doesn't enjoy jewelry? I've never met one, and I certainly am one. But the thoughts of retailing it, and I really don't know the industry, you know, it's when you've been in other things, especially health and wellness, and my educational background even is I'm a nutritionist. I have a science degree with a major in nutrition, so I always felt comfortable there. But when you compare the two, this makes so much more sense to me. And I don't know, I'm excited about us working together again as a couple because we are a good team. And the product line is thrilling. The compensation plan is exciting. You are amazing. Sanat, like the whole thing, the full package is exactly that. The showroom is spectacular, and you show it all. I mean, you know the posh is there, the costume jewelry, right up. I mean, it's all it's fabulous. And there's something for everybody. That's another thing. There's something for everybody.
We've stood at the front of the room and we've helped polish each other. You know, iron sharpens iron, and trials and tribulations sharpen each person. And so when Alan called me, yes, there was a little bit of sarcasm. Okay, what are we going to look at this time? But I knew that he was excited, and when he brought your name into the picture, and I had known of Stu in multiple conversations, never met the man before, then I watched part of the video, and I think what she said was so poignant to me is belief. Okay, belief. I can be very polished to some point, maybe to the point where other people sitting in the back of the room go, I could never be like that guy, so I won't do it. Maybe that's to my discredit. But the positive side of that is I love being at the front of the room. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy motivating and building that dream. The very depressing part is that a lot of the experiences I've had, I knew halfway through the process. Number one, I don't know that I can ever achieve what I'm talking about. But what's worse is I have to look in the mirror and talk to myself or answer to my wife or to my Lord and say, I'm leading people down a road that I know darn good and well. If I'm busting my tail to get halfway, they're never going to get started. I'm talking to people who need this opportunity. And the first thing out of my mouth is I'm trying to convince them to start investing monthly in a product that's only as good as their next flush. Literally. They take the pills, they drink the stuff, they do this, they do that, they go take care of business, and it's out of their system. They got to do it again. If they didn't have some miraculous fall down healing from what we were talking about, it really wasn't there. It was talk. We squirt the dirt, we wash the cars. Oh, that looks great. Buy a bunch of product. I'm telling my wife, honey, what we got to do? We just got to keep going. We just got to keep going. I'm spending more money than I'm making. What kind of a business model is that? When I first looked at this, and I heard it was binary, I had some questions, just of my own ignorance I needed to learn. But my next question, Al and I talked about this, I said, is there a monthly minimum? Is there an auto ship? I don't buy that much jewelry. I can't have an auto ship. I can't have gold coming to my house every month. And then I see the wisdom of this process where I consider it more like this is my dues to hold my spot to attain what I really want. And it's not as though I'm sitting on a box in the closet or in the trunk. I'm watching those numbers add up in the back office. That's potentially what I see. Or I'm seeing the gift for Valentine's Day or whatever that case might be. And I'm not sure who said it, but somebody said, so what if you quit? You still have the watch. You still have the jewelry. You still have the credit sitting in your account to go buy something. The other circumstances, when I watched people quit, give up, lose hope, they threw it in the garbage. They put it out on the curb. They tried to peddle it at their next garage sale. It did nothing to change their life, for the most part. And I got brokenhearted in the spirit because I said, I can't stand in the front of the room and not walk the talk. I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's a skill and a talent God gave me, but if it's not honest and accurate, I can't do it, no matter what the money supposedly is going to be. And I quit. And I haven't done anything in years with it until Alan called me to come up here. And I said, if somebody's willing to extend an opportunity, go all the way to Canada, and he's willing to partner with me, and let's go look together. If you don't like it, it's okay, we understand. Oh my gosh. And then to sit in the room with the CEO, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, but you've had more exposure to CEOs of companies than I have. I couldn't even get a phone call into them, an email, let alone to sit down and talk.
Right.
So you want to talk belief? You want to talk a true product and a true business opportunity that literally can meld together the way it's supposed to? That's what I'm seeing here.
So the gap between you watched the part of the video anyways, mainly was lack and trust that you had with your friends, and you had with Stu. At what point did it trigger for you that, okay, I get it? Because before that you were thinking, okay, auto ship jewelry, how does that work? At what point did you get it? Is that after you see the tour? Is it the conversations we had?
Once I got the two levels of fear based on ignorance eliminated, after I understood a little better how the comp plan worked, after I understood how I could cash in on the fact that I didn't have to buy something every single month, it wasn't like that. After I met you, and I told Alan this, I said, I kind of played off a Stu a little bit, and I said, okay, I'm going to go check you off the list too. But I wanted to see you, I wanted to look in your eyes, I wanted to see how you dress, I wanted to see the quality of the product, so that I could know with confidence that if I stepped forward, it was with confidence, not another dog and pony show. That's what it took for me.
Because that's really important, and I talk about that in the 25 reasons. That's why I did that video. 25 reasons why our products are the absolute best products to market in direct sales. In the very first, I start the video by saying, because it's very common, people say it's a nutrition mantra, consumable, consume. I'm going to get a piece of jewelry every month, and then they find out how really the IA program works. And of course, we know now after 9 years of track record, we know that we were right, and the industry of 2,000 companies are wrong. Why? DSA averages tells the whole story. But the industry has a 6% auto-ship ratio, but we're sitting about a 40% plus IA ratio. we're talking about 700%, like better, 600-700% better than the industry average.
I find it interesting that so many of those product-driven companies, the consumables, you go to their training sessions, you go to their weekend motivationals, and they give you all the accolades about why the products are so great and they last longer and you can use them and you don't have to buy as much. And you're going, okay, but wait a minute. If that's the case, then this first shipment that I have, let's see, that's going to exceed the amount of time before I'm having to buy the next shipment. And that never, ever made sense to me, especially when you're trying to, I'm just going to use the word, convince someone that they need to do the same thing.
Absolutely right.
Brantley, 98% of the people that Brantley and I know, probably 99% that we love and care about, they would give anything to trade their income with the half a dozen people that, I don't know if it was scheduled, that you've danced to here today.
Mm-hmm.
But I tell you what I was in, and this is with all due respect, but I met a bunch of people that were just really average people that came into this room today.
Yeah.
They weren't shining superstars.
That's right, yeah.
They were average people that,
No disrespect, I love that about my company.
yeah, I mean, I'm serious. I mean, they were,
Yeah.
you know, they were average. And I mean that with all due respect, but I know a lot of average people that need what you have.
That's come down again. Look, when you start to beat the DSA averages by 4, 5, 600%, it's not one thing. There's a collective of things got together for it to happen. I mean, at the end of the day, we can go through every startup. We've done that, and you have that in my CEO address 2014. We talk about that in there. But it comes down to this: creating a millionaire with less than 2,700 people in your team, it's never been heard of in the industry. At the end of the day, the averages, when you take a look at it, it takes 80,000 people in an average MLM company to do that. If it's telecom, what? Half of that if it's nutrition. 80,000. 2,700 is easy. It's doable. Not easy. It's doable. 40,000, 80,000, not so doable. And we're talking about the average person here. Because what Renee did, and what Reza did, it's not that they got these massive bonuses that only they can get to be able to do that. They make that money through CVC they call it, commission volume commission, which every single one of you have same access as Spencer Diamond. You're getting the same cycle as he's getting, and there's nothing more you need to qualify for. In other companies that have rank based, the guys at the top say, "Look, we make a lot of money, but the average person in that company don't have access to those things." Here, what make these guys the millions, every single one of you from day one have access to you. That's the difference. When we talk averages, we're taking the whole average, not individual performance. Company-wide. So I always say, as one of the top comp plan experts in the world, I always say, look, don't get excited when somebody from the room flashing a check. Every company has that. Ask them a question. How many people did it take to do that? And don't brag. I got 160,000 users in my team. They just told the average person, you can't do it. It's the ED ratio that's the most important stat in direct sales. Earning per distributor ratio. And the reason why the big guys don't want to debate with me, because I go right to DSA averages and there's nothing you can say.
I also have another half at home who says if you get into another multi-level business, like, you know, I don't want to hear about it. But funny thing happened this time when I said it was jewelry, mine kind of sort of laid off right away, like she was interested. And when I first started hearing about that this was about, you know, want products like jewelry and high-end products, I said, well, you know what? People are spending money there, you know, and pretty much everybody's spending money there. And whether it's a purse or it's like a precious item that I want to give to somebody to tell them how I feel about them, or that they are precious to me. And so, okay, I'm involved in a program. And I'm doing my monthly IA, and I'm saving it for what I want, or I'm saving it to buy somebody else what I want, and then I get to meet all you people and you remain and understanding the difference between what they need or what we're telling them they need as opposed to what they want. How powerful that was, I really didn't get it at first. But now I understand, because like Bill, you're here, you want that out of that, and everybody here has a piece in there that they want, and they're gonna get it. And I don't have to tell them they're gonna be healthier for it or anything. They just want it.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? So I can go to Ron in Moncton and say, you know, like every year when Christmas comes, you want to get Kathy something or you want to get Tammy something, and you know, you don't have that $500. But in this program, I will have that $500 set aside for the person I care about and get them what they want and give them a choice of what they want. And it didn't hurt, because at the same time I was building my business and showing other people how to build theirs, we were all saving to get something what we want. We've paid $50, $60, $70 a month for just a website. And nothing to show for it. And we kept paying it because of, you know, the dream. But this is concrete.
You know,
This is really concrete.
I really want to chip in here because, you know, I've been listening to everybody and everybody talking. And, you know, we've talked about the negativity of the industry and there's been a lot of negative talk. Here's what I see. I see that red ocean over there, but more importantly, I see a peninsula of land right here, and I see a blue ocean over here, okay? And we named the team the Blue Ocean. And the reason why we did that is because there's a cruise ship sitting off the coastline there, and it's just sitting there. And if you've ever been to Alaska, if you've ever been to Skagway, if you've ever been up north, the water is turquoise. It's absolutely spectacular, and that's how I see this. There's a cruise ship over there, and there's 30, 40-foot banners as you walk in the front door here, and every time we walk in here, I go, those banners are going to be on that ship. And there's only about 10 people on that boat. Now, I've watched companies go from 100 million to 400 million in a couple of years and just explode. I believe that that's what's going to happen here.